and welcome to the MyWhoosh Sunday Race Club. Arias has gone off the front, coming from the back though. Paolo has come at nearly 8 watts per kilo. I suspect we're going to see a rider from the back to the front come through. Arias will go through first. Will she have the fastest time through the segment? Will it be Connell? Will it be Paolo? It's going to be Connell who's taken that.
That is a massive push into the climb from Cup.
Yep.
She was at 4.5 watts per kilo. Absolutely driving into the base of the climb, and it really is a rolling foothill at the moment.
Brittany Litton has absolutely nailed it today because she has got a gap. You ready for this? 20 seconds.
33.7 kilometres. She's part and parcel of the leading group of Category 4 riders who have caught all but one of the leading group of Category 5 riders. So Georgia Perry is currently leading the Category 5 race. She's 38 seconds down the road.
It has now broken behind. McCarthy and Guerra are now leading the charge, and we are talking about power levels of 7-8 watts per kilo on these kicks to come across. This is on the climbing section. This is on one of those bumps that runs us in to the Kyoto Sprint, and there are plenty more to come behind. All our leading riders onto Mount Fuji. Category 1, the last riders to go onto that climb, they are just over 39.7 kilometres into the course. The leader on the road is Rebecca Johnson, who's got an 11-second gap on the nearest rival.
Dana Davidson, she's gone underneath the polka dot banner. She's heading towards the finish line, but the climb continues, and it is so steep. 14.4%, 14.5, 0.7, 0.9. 15% towards the finish line. Can anybody catch Piccolo and Denton? Piccolo is pushing, so is Denton, but Vanilla and Ultramarino are coming. Can Piccolo make it? Will Denton come past? This is Ultramarino. Will Ultramarino go over the top? I don't think she does. I think it's Denton from Ultramarino from Piccolo. That was so close.
This is our race finish coming. Guerra has the head of the race. Vasquez starts to wind up into Carnes into a sight as well. Kittle and Denton are coming. Vasquez got a big kick, 6 watts a kilo, but Guerra has opened the throttle again. She's found something extra. Can she keep them all behind? The big push comes here. Denton's coming, Vasquez coming. Guerra holds the front. She passed by Denton in the last few meters. Rhiannon Denton takes the race win from Sylvia Guerra. They are shoulder to shoulder. Ramos just starts to edge the gap. It's going to be a sprint win. It's going to be a sprint finish. The kick for the line. Lee Sophie Rummett takes it from Brittany Litton. So for the MyWhoosh Sunday Race Club, the finals for February, it's going to be a race win for Dana Davidson, who comes into the line. She climbed clear. She's your race winner here today on the finals.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. مشاهدينا الكرام متابعينا في كل مكان، أهلا وسهلا بكم.
هنا المنافسة في الفئة الثانية 10 كيلومترات و700 متر انتهينا منها، ونحن ذاهبون الآن إلى النقطة الثانية، هي عند الكيلو 16 و500 متر، نقطة السبرنت الثاني. كاترين فورير تضغط الآن ليزا هيمرسون المتسابقة السويدية في 350 واط. ليزا هيمرسون، والصعود المتبقي على نهاية الصعود 900 متر الآن، وسرعات عالية 21 كيلومتر في الساعة. الزون السادس، الكل يضغط في الزون السادس. ليزا هيمرسون، والآن تتدخل في هذه اللحظات ماري كيتي ماكارتي، تتدخل وخلفها مباشرة جابرييلا غويرا. المراقبة من جابرييلا غويرا على المتسابقة ماري كيتي ماكارتي. جابرييلا غويرا الآن تنطلق، خلفها مباشرة كاترين فورير. ريبيكا جونسون تنطلق الآن. ريبيكا جونسون في آخر 5 كيلومترات، نعم 5 كيلومترات أخيرة لريبيكا جونسون، والآن تتقدم ب6 ثواني عن كاميليا سالغادو ونينا داولينغ وميليسيا سيمكن. ستيفاني بوكولو تصبح بالمركز الأول، تصل ستيفاني بوكولو والفوز الأول لبوكولو بالنسبة للبرازيل وبالنسبة لهذه الفئة. ولكن في آخر المطاف البريطاني بطلة السباق اليوم، وهنا نهاية السباق لسيلفيا أم للاورا توكوناس الكولومبية أم المتسابقة الإيطالية. الكولومبية تتقدم بكل قوة من الخلف مانويلا فاسكويز وأيضا لاورا توكوناس. سيلفيا الإيطالية تنافس قوي وتنتصر سيلفيا في آخر الأمتار، وتدخل ريان البريطاني في آخر الأمتار، تتفوق وتأخذ القميص الأصفر.
لاحظ الآن كتف بكتف، اسبرنت الآن متعادل. هنا المحاولة لريميرت الآن وبريتني، الدخول الأخير. ريميرت تعدي ريميرت سبرنت الآن في زون رقم 6. المحاولة حتى النهاية، إنها ريميرت. نعم ريميرت القميص الأصفر.
نعم أول من يصل إلى خط النهاية هي الفئة الثالثة والوصول أسترالي بقيادة ديانا دافيدسون هي بطلة اليوم بطلة المرحلة. نعم بطلة المرحلة النهائية من شهر فبراير والقميص الأصفر الآن يصل إلى خط النهاية وأستراليا تفوز اليوم في اليابان.
So hello and welcome to the MyWhoosh Sunday Race Club. And first of all, I want to say Ramadan Mubarak to everybody who is celebrating Ramadan at the moment. My name is Matt Payne. I'm here with Emma Martin. We are here live in what is two studios covering two different events because right throughout March, Ramadan kicks in. And that means that we are going to be bringing you a multitude of shows from a multitude of studios with lots of great races and a whole host of changes. Emma, let's run through, first of all, the women's race route today.
Oh, the women today. It's a great one for the first qualifier in March because we are heading to Belgium. 35 kilometres of racing, 324 metres of climb. There's two sprints along the way. The Ghent City sprint when they are out of the pen at the 2 kilometre marker, and the Thyssen-Hoven-Molen sprint at 12.4 kilometres. Both of them 300 metres in length. Then there are 3 climb segments today. The first of those, the Kortekeer, the first and longest climb of the race, 3.9 kilometres, an average gradient of 2.5%, but it's 17% in places, that climb. The Valkenburg is up next, 1.3 kilometres, average gradient 4.3. Then they go over the Eichenberg Hill, not classified, but the Eichenberg climb is 1.6 kilometres of climbing, 4.7% the average gradient, and then from the top of the Eichenberg climb to the checkered flag, it's a 6 kilometre run. And this is going to be fast. The course record held by Catherine Fuhr, set back in qualifier 4 in March last year, 53 minutes, 15 seconds.
Well, it's a cracking course. It's a fast course. And some of our viewers may well have noticed it is no longer up at the longer distances. Lots of changes on the Sunday race clubs. The distances have changed to give us the same race time for the women's races as the men's. So giving the same racing distance and exposure. Now, we are going to kick off our riders. And now, we do normally feature our teams here at this point. However, you can see the teams on your screens. Emma, we've got massive changes to the categorization. We'll talk about those between category 3 and 2 departure today. So when they go off, and there's a longer gap there to talk about the reasons, the rationale behind it. Let's talk about the riders in category 6.
Yes, 28 riders on the start sheets in category 6, and you'll know if you've been following the Sunday Race Club for 2025, that is a increase of riders in the women's race field in category 6. 28 today, and that's because there has been a lot of jiggling around of race categories. It's all about exciting, dynamic racing this month. And the women in category 6 today, well, Londano is here, Hooker is here, Paolo is here, who took the win last week in the January final. But 8 riders from category 5 being recategorized into category 6 today as the race fields get a shakedown for March.
So it's time to go racing on qualifier race number 1. One of 4 qualifiers plus our finals in March in 2025. We're up, we are away. The big pack of riders in category 6. And as you can see, wearing those purple jerseys of category 6 are being led out once again. Ange Quap on a mission, doing what we regularly see. Kicking out and away from the start. Now, quick reminder, each of our race categories, they have a dedicated colour for that category. It is a purple for category 6.
There is indeed purple for category 6, and just noticing Birdie and Driscoll in there, normally the fastest starter out of the category 6 pen, out and up front, top 3 she was, but Quap absolutely nailing it. This pace is so strong and so hot out of the start pen. I'm looking at this, and Limbaga, a newer rider to the Sunday Race Club, along with Quapp and Ferron, Londano and Kirchner Solazano, Almansori. Well, they're all up at the front, but the stretch on this Category 6 group, well, this may well not have been what some of these Category 6 riders were expecting, given that the first 6 kilometres of this racecourse is pan flat.
And that flat race start, it does mean that there is a real need to be in the draft. If you're distance from the group, then you have to try and get in pretty quick. Now, on that 6K to the first climb, we do have our sprints on the way. 2 sprints, as Emma said, in the race today. Each sprint segment with its own reward per category. Each of the mountain or climb segments, 3 of those, they have their own rewards for those segments. And of course, then we have an overall sprint and an overall climb categorization, and we have the race overall, and that's for each 6 categories. So there's lots going on the Sunday Race Club as always, and it's going to be a really, really busy day and a real shake-up for people in these categories. Now, Musa Al-Mansouri already just having to bridge across this group, not wanting to let this leading group of 3 riders go clear. This is all about trying to keep this race under control. I think at the moment it's a long race distance in terms of standard categories, but it is shorter than we've been doing in Belgium over the last couple of months, isn't it, Emma?
Yes, it is. So we are back down to that traditional 35 kilometres this week for the women. The courses through March already published on the MyWhoosh.com website under the Sunday Race Club. Not the place on the events page where you enter each week, but a little bit further down. If you scroll down that events page, you'll see the Sunday Race Club area where you can go into. It does give you all the information you need about the dynamic categories, and also it has the entirety of March's race fields and courses on it. So all 4 courses for the qualifiers for the men and the final, all 4 qualifiers for the women and the final courses are already up for the riders and anybody else who's interested to see.
So make sure you do go have a look. We're heading into our first sprint here with Category 6, so the first chance for the riders to get themselves some prize money in Category 6. It's all about the pace through the segment. Fastest sprint through is going to be key. Traditionally, we see Hamilton going for this. We've just seen her coming charging through that race field, but will we see who are we going to see being right up there? Jessica Hamilton currently trying to make away. She moved away through the main part of the pack. You can see on the left-hand side there that the groups are fragmented, and that is going to be really interesting to see how that then plays out moving onwards, because Hamilton at the moment goes through. Looks like she's got that fastest time. She changes from the purple jersey of Category 6 into the green skin suit of sprint leader.
She does indeed, and she's been sprinting phenomenally well all year. She came into the Sunday Race Cup in Category 6, took the sprint title in January, moved to Category 5, took the sprint title in February, and is now back in to Category 6 and doing what she does. And one of the things she does really well is sprint.
Well, that was Category 6. This is Category 5, our first step up from Category 6. Light blue jerseys being worn by our riders in this race category. And Emma, lots of change in this category as well.
Yeah, well, just as we said at the top of the show, Matt, changes in all categories today. 27 riders on the start sheets in Category 5. Another bit of a readjustment up and down. Riders coming up, riders going down. 12 riders coming down from Category 4 into Category 5. So you can start to see a pattern here. There's been a real big realignment of the categories, but also a lot of new riders this week as well, with 176 women on the start sheets today. It's the biggest women's Sunday Race Club field ever.
A record day today. A quick start out. This pack, though, moving out pretty much together from those race pen starts. All 6 race categories starting in separate pens, and that separates the riders out. You can see this group at the moment in those light blue jerseys of Category 5 making the way in and through. Lots of movement up, lots of movement down. Emma, do you want to run through the individual riders here that have made their way in and through those different categories?
Well, we can do.
Well, I
But
know
it's
you
seem
spent
like
a lot of time doing
quite
this,
a
so
long
you might.
list.
I think
It's
it's a
been
good idea. Yeah.
It was an interesting day yesterday, mapping it all through. But Katarina Coe comes down, so does Zugala, Narvaez, Vink, Marshall, Jones, Bago, Montoya, Halmarson, Zabala, Ervek, and Becerra. All of those riders, those 12 riders coming down into this category. And you'll see then when we go to category 4, a very, very similar picture there as well. Now, Georgina Perry, who took the win in category 5 last week in the February final, she also took that climbing competition overall. She has gone up to category 4, so progression up as well as down, and a real equaling out of the race fields. I'm going to run you through just to show you what I mean. Category 1, 21 riders. Category 2, 31. Category 3, 35. Category 4, 34. Category 5, 27. And category 6, 28. So a real spreading to increase the field sizes and get a better match of riding and racing for everybody today.
So you can see we've got category 6 already heading out through that group is well and truly fractured. On the left-hand side of your screen, those purple discs, each disc on the radar view representing a rider. And as you can see, groups fractured across the road as they go through Ghent and head out of town. Category 5 on the right-hand side of your screen, they are now making the way on that 6K running towards the first time, which basically includes the sprint. It also then includes this run through the city where you can see Musa Al Mansouri at the moment leading the Category 6 race. Category 5, we've got 2 distinct groups on the road at the moment. The main group here, the leading group up at the front, and we've got a second group on the road. But this group, very interesting. In fact, it's one rider behind, Dominique Chalbois, who has been distanced from the group, just losing ground at the moment. The lead group
really
here, there's some real big hitters, Emma.
Yeah, but it's also really interesting the difference between the start of the Category 6 race and the Category 5 race here. Category 6 just went bang on the bee of the gun. Category 5, a much steadier start today. And you can see everybody in this category bar one rider in this group. And you're right, Matt, there's some great riders in there. Ruby's in there, Hooker's in there, Alzat, Bago, Peeler's in there, Zagala. All of those names we've heard week after week after week, and they hit that Ghent City sprint. And you can see the whole pack moving as one. Oh, Gaviria
A really fast sprint, isn't it? She's absolutely moving. Fantastic speed here. Brilliant to see the move and kicking on through. Will it be enough? She's gone almost from front. It wasn't a long run through that pack. Will somebody behind be able to take the jersey? It doesn't look like it. So she is going to transfer into that green skin suit. So Arias at the moment taking that sprint segment win and taking away the prizes in Category 5 in our first sprint of the day. So we've had Category 6 start, Category 5 start. It's time for our Category 4 riders race start. We have our teams on the screen in front of you. And Emma, this is a real up and down category now.
It is indeed. 2 riders have come up. So we've seen, I just hate that when that happens to you, that you lose your track. But, it happens sometimes. We've got Category 4. We've got 11 riders coming down into Category 4. And we've got riders going up. Rebecca Johnson, who took the win. Can't believe Rebecca's going to kill me for that. Rebecca Johnson, who took the win in Category 4 in the January final last week, has gone up to Category 3. And I say that with jest because she and I have been on the chat this afternoon together. But this race field, I think, in Category 4 is going to be so close. Johanna Warren is the rider we are in with at the moment. But let me tell you, Holly Bergin from La Rosa Blanca is now here. Hadlock is here. Alza Elos. Perry has come up from Category 5. Goodall is in the mix. Lennonin is here as well. Wilhelm Taylor Carter. Herrero is back on. Rosa Herrero, let's just say, welcome back, Rosa Herrero, to the Sunday Race Club. It's fabulous to have you back here. She's had a period away from racing and away from the bike. Alongside all those new riders, Stenman took 5th place last week, Pekakova took 4th, Simpkin took 3rd, and Dowling took 2nd. All 4 of those riders are here today as well.
And you had in riders like Bonilla and Randy Gino in there, and Natalia Idzik. I mean, it really is a who's who. But it is, as you say, I totally agree. Great to see Rosa Herrera here and on our screens in person, as well as the avatar form on the screen. So you can see Rosa's pedaling style in person. You can see that cadence also then shown on the avatar screen, in the big screen in the middle there. And Rosa, one of our really experienced riders, part of the big community of riders that race here on the Sunday Race Club, an ever-growing community, and it's great to have all of our riders in with us. This Category 4 race, Emma, starting very much the same here. Big group of riders coming out, and we're seeing almost a steadier start the further along these categories, the further up through the categories we are seeing here. And I'm wondering in part if that is due to riders maybe being a little more worried about the explosivity when we come onto the climbs.
Well, and I think that's really interesting, isn't it? Because I do think that most of these race fields, they know. I mean, we do have new riders in the fields today, but the majority of these riders who have raced in Belgium before, they know that the racing really is about those climbs. 5-minute, really hard efforts. Repeated through this race on those climbs. The flat sections, well, particularly this early starting flat section, the Category 4 race field, nice and steady out of the pen, nice big group together, exactly what we saw with Category 5. I mean, I wonder with the movement and Category 6 that they just didn't know what to expect coming out of the pen. But I do wonder whether some of those Category 6 riders will pay for it later on, particularly when they come into the Eichenberg Hill and the Eichenberg Climb. But only time is going to tell. Another rider that is great to see back on the start sheets, Matt, is Gina de Gracia. She is also back in here too.
She is indeed. And I was just looking at the start of the, just before we just went live. Gina de Gracia right up there in terms of overall sprint wins by any rider on the Sunday Race Club. Now, you can pick up the information on the MyWhoosh info page. So MyWhoosh info's got loads of great statistics. But when you actually look at sprint wins for the riders on the Sunday Race Club, really, really interesting to see that she is right up there. And it shows you across all of our race categories. And you can see Gina de Gracia here putting out nearly 10 watts per kilo, kicking in through this sprint. These riders absolutely flying here as they come in through. These riders really are able to kick on through, putting the power down, and wherever you are in the racing, whether you're category 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, or 1, you can go out there and be competitive. So fantastic to see the riders in action. Fantastic to see the riders and putting in those performances. Gina de Gracia 4th in the overall across the men and the women, leading woman, and 16 wins in the sprint competition. So
well,
far.
Can I tell you, she only came through that sprint in the 10th fastest time. Hannah Pekakova has taken the sprint with an average watts per kilo of 11.5. And I tell you something, that was so close. The top 4 riders in Category 4 flying through that first sprint today.
So our Category 4 riders in the red making the way in and through. They're out on course. It's time now to get away. Category 3. So you can see the teams on your screen there. And Category 3, almost matching Category 4. In fact, just exceeding Category 4 in terms of size and lots of movement as well in our Category 3. So run us through those riders, Emma. Who's up, who's down, who's scored well here before?
Yeah, so Helen McKay coming down into Category 3. So is Anna Embring. Camilla Salgado goes up into Category 3 from Category 4. Also heading down into this category, Julia Montgomery, Linda Martinez, Thompson, Lundin, Briggs, and Kasani. Who is here who rode well last month? Well, Brittany Lytton had a 4th place in the final. Eva Essler, her teammate, had 3rd. Kim Bonilla had a 5th place in the January final last week. We saw her racing outdoors. She was actually lining up that weekend also for the Philippines National Road Race Championships. And can I just let you know, Kim Bonilla is one of our younger riders in the Sunday Race Club. She's 18 years old. She races in the under-23 women's category on the road. She is now the under-23 individual time trial gold medalist of the Philippines, and she took 2nd in the under-23 criterium race. Now, I'm going to caveat that by saying the under-23 women don't have their own category in the road race, so they race up with the elite women in the Philippines. And congratulations to the new elite road race Philippines gold medal national champion, Kim Bonilla. What a young rider, and what a star for the future.
Absolutely storming performance by her. I saw the results on social media, and fantastic to see that result, and how pleased the rest of her teammates were for her as well. The Philippines team are so strong. Most of them, I say most of them, pretty much all of them, ride on the Sunday Race Club in various categories, and it is brilliant to see that them out on the road, out and racing, but still coming and racing on the Sunday Race Club as well. Congratulations to all of those medal winners at those games. Some fantastic performances from riders across and around the continent. Do make sure you catch up with them. If you are racing and we don't talk about you, and you haven't told us what your social media tag is, or given us a message, sent us a message on social media, then please do so. We love it when our riders get in touch. You can get hold of Emma, it's at biking_MN. You can get hold of me, it's at Matt Fixer Payne. We really do love it when you get in touch. Make sure you do follow at MyWhoosh on Instagram and on Facebook as well. Emma, we're heading into the sprint here. This is category 3, making the way through the forest at what is a relatively relaxed start, but this means it's going to be a harder kick from a slower pace, really, instead of being a high-speed running by the look of it.
Yeah, well, Catherine Montoya took the sprint competition overall last week in the January finals. Will she go for this today? She may well be one to watch, but there are other riders in here who could be the ones to watch on this sprint, and you can see them coming in really steady. They are all looking at each other, and positioning is going to be absolutely key.
So here we go. There's a sprint off from the front here. Salgado and Embring are kicking away from the front here. Catherine Nielsen trying to stay with them, as is London and Briggs here. But it looks like Salgado is going to lead them through. They came in pretty much together. But look at this by Gosselander. She came from the back. She's worked her way in through towards the front. This should give her the fastest time, surely. That's a phenomenal performance. Great timing. Has she got it to perfection? She's pipped there by Montoya going through. So that great performance by Gosselander, not enough to hold off Catherine Montoya. And you can see the time difference there. 0.4 of a second separating Montoya from Gosselander in that sprint. That the prize money will be going to Catherine Montoya.
Yeah, well, I just want to pick up on one of the riders you mentioned there going into that sprint, Matt. Katrin Nielsen, a Swedish rider, joining us on the Sunday Race Club. Great to have her on board. She is indeed an interesting character in real life, a tandem pilot for the visually impaired rider, but also a helicopter pilot as well. I love that.
No
Not
way.
just piloting a tandem,
That's it.
pilot
Awesome.
a helicopter too.
Amazing skills by our riders away from the bike and away from Sunday Race Club, but fantastic to see that. And there's so many different bike stories on there. Do make sure you give the riders a follow, particularly if they're racing for a team. Give those sponsors a follow. Every little click helps, whether you're following us or following MyWhoosh, or of course following our amazing riders. Now, speaking of amazing riders, Musa Al Mansouri here at the moment, leading rider out on the road. You can see that position number 1 right at the front of affairs at the moment, heading towards the top of the Kortekeer climb. It is classic season, the first classics of the season kicking off yesterday. Phenomenal sprint finish, brand new first classics win for a new rider as well, which was great to see in the women's on loop. It looks like that may well have been the inspiration here, because Musa Al Mansouri is sprinting away up here towards the top of the segment. She's opened over 30 seconds between her and the rest of that chasing pack. In category 6, she's going to be rewarded with the polka dot skin suit here, and it is fractured to pieces behind.
Well, it is indeed. Farrell and Crap, the two riders here side by side coming up to the top. They're about to go underneath the polka dot banner. They are the second and third riders on the road, second and third in that category 6 race. And then it's around a 30-second gap back to what looks like a good-sized group on the road. And Barco, Sarasuk, Hamilton are all in that group behind. Now, it's going to be interesting to see whether Al Mansouri can stay out and can stay clear, or whether Ferron and Quap can get together and start to pull that gap back. This was the fast starting group, let's not forget. Out of all the categories underway already, they did indeed have that hardest dialed at the start.
They did indeed. Now, Emma, I'm just quite aware here that as we see these riders going in through over the top of the climb, we did say we'd expand a little bit more on the differences in the race starts and the volumes of riders in there.
Yes, we did indeed, and we have indeed gone into 2025 with changes to the Sunday Race Cup. We've gone from 4 categories to 6 categories, and through January and February, the race distances and race courses were equal for men and women. There has been further adjustment going into March after 2 full months of racing, and the shake-up of the categories and the reallocation of riders has been part and parcel of that. Very much about creating exciting, dynamic racing in each of the 6 categories, and in an effort to ensure that Category 5 and Category 6 were getting the same breadth and depth of racing as the other categories. What we were seeing was Category 3 particularly, and Category 2 getting to over 40 riders in the women's race field, whereas Category 6 and Category 5 around 12 to 18 riders. So this really has reappraised the entire entry of the Sunday Race Club and reallocated across those 6 categories to ensure a better spread across those categories, closing the gap and involving the racing.
And well, that's one of the things that we constantly have seen. We've been lucky enough to be on the mic here, myself, Matt Payne, and Emma Martin now for a number of years. And one of the things you can guarantee is that we see this evolving. We see great new riders like Jennifer Gostilander coming in, taking on the established names. But we also see the established names having to deal with new situations as well, as they're dealing with the changes, as we see improvements not only in the platform and the way that the racing is, but the extra riders coming in, the extra race categories, the increased prize funds as well, and of course the changes in that categories. It's not as fixed as you would maybe see elsewhere, and that allows the racing to really give great racing for everybody, and that's what we all want when it comes to our racing. We want to be out there being able to battle people, whether you're in category 6, 5, 4, 3 or category 2, which is about to take to our race start. So with that rejigging of race boundaries, you can see our teams in on your screens at the moment. And guess what, Emma? It's time to go through those runners and riders that have moved up and those that have moved down and those who have been performing previously.
Well, I tell you, it's a really interesting race field in Category 2. 31 riders on the start sheets. A number of new riders. Welcome, Leanne Fanoy, one of the triathletes joining the Sunday Race Club. Gravel racer Catherine Coln joining as well. Christine Schneider, also one of those new riders. Dropping down from Category 1, Kelsey Jade Van Schor. Also dropping down, Cornelia Engstrom, Dana Wagner, Elsa Haag, and Lisa Hermansen. It's going to be really interesting to see what happens here and how this race plays out today.
There have been overlaps before between the performances in categories 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, and so on, all the way through the race field. So because of those overlaps, it does mean riders moving across. It may well be that's the impetus, the spur that drives them on today's race, but it may be that they suffer because they're settling back into a different race category. Really interesting when we see this movement across from one category to another. And of course, we know that every single race category is tough. All of our riders say that. It is the best way to get fit fast, to get super strong. And it's proven by the increasingly strong performances of our riders here on the Sunday Race Club. And a prime example is Sophie Giovanni of that, a rider who we know will always be battling for the race win. I've got to say a massive thank you to everybody who sends in their live video feed. We do try to get across everybody on the way through. Fortunately for us, we don't have to press the buttons that switch us from rider to rider. Got to say a massive thank you to the amazing team behind the scenes. They, like us, are now going to be running. It's a 2-stream Sunday. There you go. That's a new phrase for us today. A 2-stream Sunday, because we are going to have our separate women's stream and then the men's stream. You're here on the women's stream on the Sunday Race Club with me, Matt Payne, and Emma Martin. And once we've got the women's race field away, it won't be long before we actually go to the start of the men's. Now, Emma's going to stay with the women's race. I am going to have to go catch up with it a little bit later once I've finished the men's race. And when Emma finishes the women's race, she'll be joining me on the men's race. Complicated? If you think it's complicated for you, we've got to try and make this happen on the way through, which I'm sure we will manage one way or another. I hope you're absolutely, yes, we will. I hope you are all au fait with what's happening. So basically, women's race underway. Emma's going to be here all the way through. Then she'll join me because I'm going to leave early and start the men's race, which means I get to watch this back afterwards when I'm not working and really enjoy the racing.
Now, Dana Wagner on our screen at the moment. She's in that Category 2 race field pack. All of the pack together at the 1.3, 1.4 kilometre marker. They're going to run into the sprint very shortly. They are rolling comfortably together. Van Hooling there, her heart rate at 139. So if you are new to viewing the Sunday Race Club, the rider highlighted in blue on the right-hand column, the name in blue, is the rider's stats that we are seeing on the screen on the top. So Van Hooling's heart rate, her cadence, the time elapsed for her race, and her current watts. If the watts are in the green, she's in the draft. If the watts are in the white, well, she's out in the wind. And there she is, popping up on the left-hand corner of our screen. Great to see the face behind the avatar.
And the wind definitely blowing there through Liz Van Hueling's hair. The fan there to keep the temperature down, to help keep that body cooled down, to try and stop yourself from overheating, because, of course, that is all going to affect the performance. Let's see how Van Hueling, we know she's got a phenomenal sprint. Is she after? Looking for some sprint money here today. She's out of the saddle sprinting here. You can see this big group are kicking on, and because everybody's moving fast, there's plenty of draft available. It's tight here, but we're getting riders starting to go clear. Anna Svarstrom, big kick here. Alexi Snova and Takanas all driving off the front of the big group. They all came in together. This will come down not only to where the riders finish at the end of the segment, but where they were at the start of the segment. Svarstrom takes it. Now it's gone to Snova. Has it settled? Have all of those riders put their effort in, and has it been registered? It looks like it has. We are going to take a look at those numbers at the moment, though. It's looking to me like it is going to be Snova who has taken that win. You can see she's already through there as we get ready to go across to Category 1.
Yeah, we do.
So let's dive in with our Category 1 riders here. Emma, I know you're itching to run us through the changes to Category 1, although in some ways this is the least disturbed of our race categories. The teams on your screen, the riders. Here you go, Em.
Well, 21 riders on the start sheets today in Category 1. Obviously, no one moving down. Holdcroft, Soderstrom, Larsen, Gallegos, Van Hove, Tomasi, Bassoni, Velt, Fua, Bruni, Guerra, Kolczynski, Biarhead, Columbi, Paulson, Filensky, Alberg, Tidholm, McCarthy, Mayer, and Penna as the lights are ready to go green.
So it's time to go racing. It's qualifier race number 1. It is ramming down the different time zones hitting here. And of course, that means that some of our riders now are finding themselves racing at night when they're racing in the daytime. Some of our daytime riders riding in the racing in the nighttime. But what is absolutely key is we know we guarantee some great action, and we've got some incredible riders here at the very front of esports racing, including our world champion and all top 3 medalists, in fact, are here from those world championships in Abu Dhabi, all part of the world championships brought to you by MyWhoosh, the UCI partner for 2024, 25 and 26.
Well, just going back to the time zones, Matt, really interesting. Normally, our riders from the USA and Canada are really, really early in the morning, as in like 2, 3, 4 a.m. Now it is getting up, have a leisurely breakfast, jump on your bike for those riders. But then the opposite is true of our riders out in Australasia. So the riders in New Zealand, it is actually Monday morning out in New Zealand, and very in Christchurch, 5 a.m. in the morning at the moment. And I say that because our world champion, resplendent in those rainbow bands, from New Zealand herself.
She is indeed, and you can see that jersey mixed in with that pack, that fantastic performance that saw the rainbow bands being allocated out to Mary Kate McCarthy, that podium ceremony. Fantastic to see her. She really did race absolutely everything she had out on that race on the stage in Abu Dhabi in that in-person final. And of course, I'm really looking forward to seeing what happens when we go into the 2025 qualifications with those public qualifiers, I'm sure, back once again. We're waiting for details, a bit like you, I'm sure. I know behind the scenes the world and its brother is speculating on what's going to happen, but the people in the know, well, they're keeping quiet at the moment, and I really cannot wait to see what happens at those with the World Championships. What format, what developments will we see? I mean, it was an amazing step up. I know Gabby Guerra out and racing, doing an amazing job there.
Well, I'm just looking. I can see daylight out the window for the first time ever in Gabby's studio on the Sunday Race Club. And that must be a really welcome sight. And do you know, one of the things I think is going to be really, really interesting today are riders from the USA. So indeed, Guerra, Brazilian, but based in the USA. Kolczynski, Gallegos, all those riders in here. Tiffany Penna from Canada. I am really interested to see how they go, not in the middle of the night or the very, very early hours of the morning. And now either their body clocks have adjusted to racing that early because part and parcel of what they do every Sunday, or we might see a little bit of change around because of the time zones here.
Yeah, it could well leave some of our riders discombobulated. We're going to have to see if that's the case as our riders come into the sprint and starting to kick on the way through. Amelia Velt here has exploded out of the race pack. She clearly is looking to take away the prizes here, but she's up against Sprint Queen herself, Bridget Filensky, who is absolutely smashing those pedals round. She's going to come up on the shoulder and over the top. Velt went hard, but my goodness, Bridget Filensky making the most of that, awarded the green skin suit, the second best female sprint jersey winner overall in the Sunday Race Club ever. And she's done that very, very quickly since joining the Sunday Race Club.
Do you know what I think? I think if you put in 2025, pretty much she takes the top title. She is absolutely a sprint queen. Bridget Walensky taking the top spot overall with the fastest time, 19.65 seconds in the sprint. Snova taking category 2, Montoya taking category 3, Pekka Kova taking category 4, Arias taking category 5, and Jessica Hamilton taking the fastest sprint in category 6 through the Ghent City Sprint.
Fantastic performances by our sprinters, and you can see what it's done though. You've got Amelia Velt at the back of the group. You've got Walensky not quite in touch here, and after that big effort, they need to get back on again, because if they get distance, there will only be the sprints to contest and they won't have any assistance. Now, that's the sprints complete. Our riders in the leading categories, that's category 6, 5, 4, 3, and now category 2. On to the Kortekeer, the first of our climbs here at the Sunday race for qualifier race number 1. One of 4 climbs, 3 of which are categorized, so 3 of which you can score the points on. I am going to, however, leave you in the more than capable hands of Emma Martin. Emma, I am very jealous that you get to watch this to its conclusion in one go and see how this develops. Yeah. I'm going to be watching, though, back later on with ice cream and coffee. So I'm going to get to enjoy this one. I hope you're going to come and join me on the men's race in a little bit.
Well, I will. But first of all, I am going to get absolutely involved in this women's race in Belgium, because the fire is about to be lit under this category 2 race. And I can tell you 3, 4, 5 and 6 are already up and over the Kortekeer and heading out into the rest of Belgium. Matt, I will join you for that men's race later. Enjoy getting them out of the start pen. I'll see you soon.
See you soon. Thank you very much.
Well, Katerina Karamani is part and parcel of this Category 2 pack. She's on our screen at the moment, alongside Jenny Eck and Cornelia Engström. Fanoy and Kuma are also in the group. Donna Wagner in the mix as well. These are all names we're going to have to keep our eyes out for. Joanna Kalman, she's in the group as well. Now, she took the women's race in the Polish Cycling Esports Championships for 2025. So she is riding on a high at the moment as well. They're all in the leading group at 7 kilometres. They are 1 kilometre into the Kortekeer, this Category 2 race. It is about to get very steep under their wheels, because this next part of the climb, the part of the climb they can see ahead of them, kicks to 17%. Well, Germaine Prado just dropping out the back of the group. She's had a massive week at those road race championships in the Philippines. She took the Elite Women's Individual Time Trial Gold. She took the Elite Women Criterium Gold as well. She's had a phenomenal week on the road, and congratulations to her. 4 years running, she has taken that gold medal in the individual time trial. A phenomenal athlete, and fabulous to have her as part and parcel of the Sunday Race Club week in, week out. Well, as Prado climbs the Kortekeer here on MyWhoosh, she moves through. We can see Snova, Engström, Kalman, Gonzalez, Rua. They are not that far ahead, and it's still a good-sized leading pack here in Category 2 as they come to the top of the first section of the Kortekeer. Now, if you remember back to the map at the beginning of the show, the Kortekeer, well, it's 3.9 kilometres in length with an average gradient of 2.5%, but it has a steady run-in of around 6% before it seriously kicks. It kicks to over 17%. Then we hit the top of the first part of the climb, where the Category 2 riders are coming to at the moment. In fact, Engström, Giovanni, Kalman and Eck. Denton is there as well. They're about to go over the first part of the top. Then they hit a descent into the dip before the second rise of the Kortekeer, where they will see the polka dot banner. Now, the polka dot skin suit in category 6 sat on Musa Al-Mansouri's shoulders. This is the category 6 race, the first race out of the start pen nearly 40 minutes ago. Al-Mansouri climbed so strongly through the Kortekeer. She's now up and over the Valkenberg climb. In fact, she's on the reservoir at the top of the Valkenberg. Ferron and Quap not separated yet. They are still together at 34 seconds back. And then just over 40 seconds back is the rest of the main group in that category 6 race. Now, on the left-hand side of your screen, the Category 1 race, who came out of the start pen. Well, they were the last ones out of the start pen, and they are rolling strongly at the 5.6 kilometre marker in about 400 metres. They're going to turn around the corner, and they're going to see the polka dot banner for the start of the first climb today. The Kortekeer, where we saw our Category 2 riders coming towards the top. Category 1 are about to go into the bottom. And you can see around 15 kilometres at the moment, separating Category 1. The last riders out of the start pen, with the leader in Category 6. Well, Category 6 were the first riders away. So Category 6 roll in all together into the base of the Kortekeer. They are about to start to climb. We jump in with Francesca Tomasi. Tomasi been riding really strongly throughout February. It's been absolutely great to see her development here on the Sunday Race Cup. She took 4th place in Colombia back on qualifier 2 in February. It's been so good. Her climbing has been so strong. It's going to be interesting to see how she goes here today in Belgium, part and parcel of the pack. Holdcroft is another rider who has been riding very strongly at the moment, a rider on really great form. Pena, Columbi, Gallegos, McCarthy, Guerra are all in the mix here. So is Catherine Fua. Now, Fua holds the fastest time on this course, 53 minutes 15 seconds, set back in qualifier 4 in March 2024. So almost 12 months ago. Well, we're dropping in with the Category 1 race at the moment. They are coming towards the top of the Valkenberg, and Jarl Malsen is the rider pushing on at the front. She's already in that polka dot skin suit from the Kortekeer climb, but it's still a strong group at the moment in Category 5 who are coming through at the front of the pack. So Yarmussen, Mongeli, Lopez, Bago, Alza and Co. 6 riders in that leading group. They're not too far back. Erevek is there as well. So 7 riders in contention at the moment in Category 5. 2 climbs down, 2 climbs to go. Well, Roberta Bassoni choosing to ride outdoors today. You can see there on the live camera shots. So she's up and out of the saddle in real life. The avatars are up and out of the saddle. They're at 6.5% at the moment. Gradient on the Kortekeer. It is about to get steeper. 1 or 2 riders just getting distance off the back as McCarthy, the world champion, comes to the front. Bassoni, Columbi, Arlberg, Fua and Kolczynski are all with her. It's getting steep now. We're at 14%, 14.9. We top 15% now. This is a steep section of the Kortekeer we were talking about earlier. The pace is on. McCarthy, Guerra, Fua. And we drop in with Catherine Fua on the bottom left-hand corner of the screen. She too is up and out the saddle, keeping pace with Guerra and McCarthy. Soderstrom, Bruni and Holdcroft are there as well. We could start to see 6 riders go away. It may be more. The Kortekeer may not be where the decisions are made about this Category 1 race, but there are going to be some selection points along the way. So Holdcroft takes to the fore of the race at the moment with Guerra and McCarthy, Fua, Columbi, Bruni, Soderstrom, all there in the mix as well. This is the longest climb on the Belgium course today, and it is going to be an absolute battle in this Category 1 women's race. It's an absolute battle in the Category 4 women's race at the moment as well, because coming to the top of the Valkenberg is Holly Bergen. She's on our screen at the moment. She's got Carolina Lennon with her too. So 2 riders at the moment coming through here. Angel Hadlock with Holly Bergen. Those are the 2 riders we are looking at. Lennon just 3 seconds up the road. She's picked up the polka dot skin suit in that Category 4 race. So Hadlock and Bergen. Now there is a combination to work together. They, I think, will bring Lennon back into the fold, and it's looking like we're going to have a breakaway of 3 riders in that Category 4 race. So great riding, great racing. They're 35 minutes into the race. They're coming up for 20 of the 35 kilometres complete. They are over the top of the Valkenberg. And the Category 4 have got the Eichenberg Hill, the Eichenberg climb, and then the run to the finish. Well, it's going to be a tough race and a tough battle, I think, from those 3 riders in Category 4. Back in Category 1, however, they're coming into the dip between the 2-part climb of the Kortekeer. And Nicole Meyer just back off the back of this group. So is Tomasi and Alberg. They're not a long way back. It's just a stretch on the group, and it's still a great sized group in this Category 1 race. So Fua, McCarthy, Meyer, Tomasi, Alberg, Bassoni, Penner. You can see a slight gap, but not a lot between these 2 groups. On the bottom left-hand corner of your screen, you can see the stretch on the group on that picture. And it's all coming back together again now as they hit the dip between. The gradient's going to start kicking again. This is a much shorter climb here now on the Kortekeer, taking them up to the polka dot banner. You can just see that now on that satellite navigation picture on that bottom left-hand corner. It is the corner point just on the screen at the moment as the gradient starts to kick. Is 9%, 10%, very, very quickly. It hits 11 and 12, and Guerra and McCarthy go. They go off the front of the climb. Bruni and Fua, Soderstrom and Columbi, Kolczynski digging in as well. They need to be in contention. They need to stay with Guerra. They need to stay with McCarthy. They need to not let them go. But Guerra is points hunting. She's points hunting in that climbing competition. She took the climbing competition in those February finals. And in fact, she has been ticking off the climbing competitions throughout February as well. Now, she is absolutely adamant she wants that today as well. That's a strong look of concentration on Gabby Guerra's face. Columbia is the rider behind her, leading the charge with Fua, McCarthy, Holdcroft and Soderstrom. But Guerra now pushing on, and the cadence really strong as she's up and out the saddle, dancing on those pedals towards the polka dot banner of the Kortekeer climb. The cobbles aren't stopping her, and no one is looking to challenge Gabby Guerra for that climbing competition right now. So Guerra goes underneath the polka dot banner, and she sets the fastest time in Category 1. The key question now is, does she go for the long attack? She's got 6 seconds on the climb. Nobody went with her. And the question is now, have they made a fatal mistake in underestimating what Guerra might do today, and did they let her go? Well, it's going to be interesting to see whether she's attacked on the descent. But McCarthy, Fua, Holdcroft, Columbi, Bruni, Kolczynski and Soderstrom, they are all in your picture at the moment and could well be forming the chase group. There's now a significant gap back to the second group on the road. But let's just take a look at everybody who took the climbing points in those competitions. So Gabby Guerra takes the points, and the fastest time up the Kortekeer in Category 1, 6 minutes 58.454 seconds. In Category 2, it was Elsa Haag. In Category 3, it was Thompson. In Category 4, it was Lennon. In Category 5, it was Hjalmarsson. And in category 6, it was Al-Mansouri. So 6 different categories, 6 winners of the climb competition, and those segments, 3 climb segments in the race today here in Belgium. Individual winners on each of those segments, and then there is indeed an overall competition for that polka dot skin suit, because points are awarded on each climb, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, for the fastest times in each category. And then the culmination of the climb competition, points added together, it's the person with the most points who takes away the polka dot skin suit and indeed that overall climb prize. Similar competition in the sprints, 2 sprints today, the Ghent City Sprint and the Tissenhoven-Molen Sprint. But at the moment, Guerra is extending her lead now over that chase group, and she hasn't backed off from the climb. She's settled into a rhythm, and she's now got 10 seconds on the chase group. And in fact, if her avatar could just look over her shoulder, she'd see them having just come round the corner now. So Guerra is now 13 seconds clear. She made 6 seconds on the Kortekeer and just kept going. The chase group didn't chase. I think they felt that Guerra was going for the segment and not necessarily the breakaway. Never underestimate Gabby Guerra when she's on a mission. Celine Columbi at the front of this group. So Columbi, Holdcroft, McCarthy, Fua and Bruni. Kolczynski is in here too, as well as Soderstrom. It is a great chase group, and the rider they are currently chasing at the 12-kilometre marker is Gabby Guerra, who now has 11 seconds. So on the left-hand side of your screen, it was category 1. On the right-hand side of your screen, it was category 2. They are now full picture. 15.5 kilometres now into this 35-kilometre race. They are going to come very shortly to the Valkenburg climb. They are indeed a good, strong rolling pack. So Haag, Engstrom, Eck, Kuma, Wagner, Denton, Hermansen, all in this group, and they're rolling strongly. And as they come through this flat transition now. So they have indeed just been through the Tissenhoven-Molen Sprint. Really interesting to see, as we've got a bit of an attack on at the moment. I'll tell you something, Kalman, Gonzalez, Rua, Van Hooling, they are absolutely motoring. And they are on, as I said, they're on this run between the Tissenhoven-Molen Sprint and the Valkenburg climb. A section of innocuous, there's a good word, innocuous flat land. But at the moment, they're obviously deciding the group is too big. The group is too well matched, and it is a very, very well-matched group, this. Field, Kalman, Giovanni, Van Hooling, all really, really strong riders. Hermansen is in here as well. And now, Lisa Hermansen goes so well on this course. The Belgium course here on the Sunday Race Club, really, really suiting those riders who can sprint as well as those riders who can climb, because it really does give that fine point balance between sprinting ability and climbing ability. Now, if the rider is, settles into a long, can settle into a long climb, Belgium doesn't really suit them. It's very short, it's very sharp, but it does suit that balance between, short, sharp climbs and dig deep sprints. And Hermansen normally goes really well on this course. I think Van Hooling could go well here too, but there's a lot of riders in this leading group in category 2 for whom this could be a good course. Van Shaw, definitely. Kolkowitz, definitely. Giovanni, yes. You could literally tick off the names in that leading group on the right-hand side of your screen, and well, any one of them could be in the mix at the end, and I wouldn't be surprised if it was a strong group going into the finish in category 2. On the left-hand side of your screen, Guerra now wearing that polka dot skin suit. She's just gone past Van der Vliet, the category 2 rider, so catching up and moving through the category 2 race field that started 5 minutes ahead of her. She's 13 seconds clear of the chase group, so holding her lead at the moment. So as Guerra holds her lead in the Category 1 race, she's got just over 20 kilometres to go. It could be a very long individual time trial, but behind Bruni and Holdcroft are leading the group. And the pace, interestingly, it's interesting to see how fast and hard the riders are pushing as Guerra goes past Akanis. But Guerra at the moment holding a strong and steady time trial pace. She's moving at around 5 watts per kilo. The group behind, well, Catherine Fuhr on the front, Celine Columbi. The pace is the watts per kilo on the group not as strong. Interesting to see the speed because you've got them on the right hand corner of your screen though. The pack, they're still on the descent. They're rolling quicker at the moment. Very soon they're going to come onto the flatland that Guerra is already racing on, and then we'll start to see more measured stats to really give us an inclination as to whether that chase group is starting to move and starting to try and work and close that gap down. Well, Mel Bruni now comes to the front of that pack, and the pace now picking up slightly. They're coming towards the flatter section that Guerra is on. They're on the right-hand side of your screen. On the left-hand side of your screen, Musa Al-Mansouri, Category 6 rider, put in the time on the Kortekeer over Ferron and Quap, and now you can see she's really motoring in Category 6. Ferron in second place, Quap in third, Hamilton, Sarasuk, Barco are the riders in the top 6, but the time gaps now for the top 3, there's a minute now separating the top 3 riders, and Al-Mansouri, if she turned over her shoulder, she could indeed see Sandra Ferron behind her. They are on the Eichenberg climb. This is the last climb of the race. It's also the last categorized climb of the race, used 40 times in the Tour of Flanders between 1956 and 2015, the Eichenberg climb. And so it has history. It really does. Al-Mansouri, though, is making history here, climbing up. Sandra Ferron is desperately trying to catch. She's doing a great job of pushing on here, but Al-Mansouri, she too, you can see some tired legs in there. It's a push you can see on those pedals, but Ferron, well, can she close the gap down? Al-Mansouri has done a phenomenal job, and she will go up and over the top of the Eichenberg climb first today. The Category 6 riders were the first riders out of the start pen. They've been racing for 56 minutes now. So Ange Quap from Canada, currently in third place in that competition. Well, we drop back in with Category 1, and the chase group have chased. They have brought back Gabby Guerra. You can see her there just ahead of the group. She's 4 seconds ahead, and the group having rolled together on the flatlands and reeled her in. She's going to come back into contention just in time. Well, just in time to hit the Valkenburg. So the Category 1 riders through the Tissenhoven-Malden sprint. That's the sprint off the drop from the Kortekeer into the Valkenburg. Bridget Falensky has done what Bridget Falensky does. She put in a phenomenal sprint. And I'll tell you something, Laura Takana's Category 2. She too has put in an amazing time alongside Catherine Montoya from Category 3. Those riders setting the 3 fastest times. So Falensky Category 1, Takana's Category 2, and Montoya Category 3, setting the 3 fastest times through the Tissenhoven-Malden sprint today. The pale blue jerseys are the Category 5 race, and they really are now starting to work their way into the Category 6 race. Mongeli, Bago, Co, Alzat are the riders on your screen at the moment, and they have worked their way into the top 10 overall on the road. They've got 7 riders now in the Category 6 race ahead of them. So Al-Mansouri is going to be the first rider to see the final polka dot banner of the race. There it is, right on the brow of the hill ahead of her. She is leading the Category 6 race, but she's 700 metres clear of the leaders of the Category 5 race, Bago, Mongeli, Alzat, Co, Lopez. are all in that race. It's a strong group of riders all together, and very, very shortly they are going to come underneath the banner. Musa Al-Mansouri is now through. She's the first rider over the top of the final climb today. She's got 6 kilometers now until the finish line. Sandra Ferron. Well, Ferron and Quap here. The interesting question is they are about to see the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 leaders of the category 5 race pick them up on the road. And if the timing is right and they come on to Quap and Farron on the descent and the flat, well, there's nothing stopping Farron and Quap taking a tow and jumping into that pack, taking the draft in an effort, if they can, to try and close down that gap to Al-Mansouri. But the if they can is the key part of that sentence. We shall see what happens. But the category 5 pack now are indeed moving on up. Sarasu is the next rider ahead of them. She's currently 4th in that category 6 race. But Yarmarson, Mongeli, Lopez, Co, Bago, 5 riders in this group. Maria Yarmarson is the rider out front in the polka dot skin suit in category 5, but Elena Lopez just coming up onto her side, just letting her know she's still there. So Lopez wanting to remind the polka dot skin suit wearing leader of the climbing competition, I'm here and you're going to have to work for that polka dot banner to hold that polka dot skin suit. Well, all of these race fields now really starting to come together, because Carolina Lennon, the rider leading the category 4 race on the right-hand side of your screen, she's 8 seconds ahead of Bergin and Hadlock, the riders in 2nd and 3rd place. She is also on the climb as well and working her way into the top 15 overall. Elena Lopez, well, she went side by side with Yarmarson, and she has then attacked because she wants that polka dot skin suit. She wants the segment prize. She takes the segment prize, but will she take the skin suit overall? Well, that's all about points and where the riders finished in the earlier 2 climbs as well. And the polka dot skin suit and the climbing competition in category 5 stays with Yarmarson, but Elena Lopez will take the final segment of the day. So Lopez, Yarmarson, Bago, Mongeli and Co, the 5 riders leading the category 5 race. So Carolina Lennon comes in to the same polka dot banner. She's worked her way into the top 10 overall on the road. She is leading the category 4 race. She's also in the polka dot skin suit. Angel Hadlock and Holly Bergin are going to come over and under that polka dot banner now. Currently 2nd and 3rd in that category 4 races. Bergin just pushes on. Oh, she wants to push on up and over the top of the climb, and she wants to try and close this down now. She knows she's got the descent and she's got to dig into it to get the momentum going. Great racing from Holly Bergin here. She's kicked over the top of the climb and into the descent. Her momentum, her pickup of pace, really, really strong. She's 60 kilometers an hour, 63, 64, 65. It's picking up really, really fast, 68, 70. She goes into the super tuck on the other side, and look at the gap she's put in on Hadlock just on that move. She's over 80 kilometers an hour at the moment. That is showing you technique on the descents here on the Sunday Race Club. Attack over the top, pick up the momentum and use the pace it gives you. Well, Bergin digging in now. She's attempted to drop her heart rate with the super tuck in an attempt to get back to Lennon. What happens now in that final 6 kilometers in that category 3 race? It's going to be really interesting to see. Back in with the category 3 race now. They too are on the Eichenberg climb, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, is that 5 or 6 riders here? But we've got Gothalander, Embring, Thompson, Daniel, Briggs, London in the leading group. Montgomery is 4 seconds back. And then 11 seconds back, we've got another line of category 3 riders. And it is going to be, they are going to be thick and fast in category 3, and this is going to be close because they are coming towards the top of the climb. Embering, Briggs, London, Daniel, Gothelander, all in this group. The group riding really strongly together. So we've got a leading group in category 3. On the right-hand side of your screen, we've got a leading group in category 2 coming into the base of the Eichenberg climb. They are coming into the base. Category 3 are getting to the top, and Anna Embring comes to the fore of the category 3 group. Jennifer Gothelander is there, Maria Thompson as well. Sarah Roach is there too. They are continuing to climb and climb really strongly. On the right-hand side of your screen, the attack has gone from Lisa Hermansen into the final. 23.7 kilometers category 2. This is the Eichenberg Hill before the Eichenberg climb. Now, it is not a categorized climb category 2 are going into, but the two climbs come in quick succession. And Hermansen choosing that opportunity to launch her attack, while Thompson choosing her opportunity to launch her attack, and that's at the top of the Eichenberg climb. The segment, they've got 6 kilometers now to run to the finish, and Thompson sits back up. She doesn't attack and push on like we saw Bergin do to pick up pace and go away on the descent. She sits back up into the group. She knows they're strong. Well, it could well be all eyeballs out for a sprint finish in category 3. Hermansen's been joined by Van Hooling here on this run into the Eichenberg Hill. Interesting move. These two really strong riders, both strong sprinters as well. And Van Hooling picking up the mantle and really, I think, wanting Hermansen to go with her. Could these two riders go away? Well, only time will tell. Rhiannon Denton at the front of the pack with Dana Wagner, Jenny Eck and Sophie Giovanni, Tilly Field in there as well, Joanna Kalman, the new 2025 Polish champion, Kelsey Jade Van Schuur is in there as well. This is such a class pack. Hermansen and Van Hooling are not going to stay away. They're going to get swamped back up by the group. And this pack, well, we've got 2 climbs now, the Eichenberg Hill and the Eichenberg climb for the category 2 pack to decide. But I wouldn't be surprised if the majority of this group was still here when we got to the flat run to the finish. Well, if you're new to watching the MyWhoosh Sunday Race Club, 6 race categories starting at 6 different times, so 6 discrete races in this women's race here in Belgium today. It's a 35-kilometre race with 324 metres of climbing. Musa Al-Mansouri on the left-hand side of your screen is part and parcel of the category 6 race, who left the start pen first today. She's at 33.7 kilometres with a 34-second gap back to Sandra Ferron. Angie Quapp, who's lying in 3rd place in that competition, she's now over a minute back. Carolina Lennonen, who's leading the category 4 race, has gone past and through the leaders in the category 5 race. And she is now lying in 4th place overall on the road. Strong ride from her today. So Al-Mansouri comes in towards her last 900 metres on the course. She's around 250, 300 metres clear of Ferron. I don't think she is going to be caught today. Musa Al-Mansouri, I think, is going to take the win in category 6. The question is, what can Carolina Lennonen do, and how much of this gap can she close down? There's a kilometre, 1,000 metres between her, Lennonen, who is leading the category 4 race, and Al-Mansouri on our screen, who is leading the category 6 race. Al-Mansouri is going to be the first rider to see the finish line today. She's got one more right hand sweeping bend, and then that finish banner will be right in front of her. She's got less than 500 metres to go. She rode away with Ferron and Quapp in that category 6 race, straight out of the start pen. And then after the Kortekeer, she has time trialled her way to the finish today. Sandra Ferron tried tried, and she tried hard, but she couldn't quite go with Al Mansouri. And Quap, the Canadian rider, couldn't quite go with Sandra Ferron, but these three riders have been clear of the rest of the Category 6 race field on these short, sharp climbs here in Belgium today. Musa Al Mansouri, she looks up, she sees the UCI banner. It's qualifier 1 for March 2025. And Musa Al Mansouri takes the win in Category 6. So Al Mansouri takes the win in Category 6. Sandra Ferron is going to come through for the second place. She's just got to come up and round the corner here. She's got around 200 metres left to go. She's going to see that finish banner, and she's going to be very pleased with that performance today. And Quap is going to come through for third place in that race today. Really good to see those two battle it out earlier on, but Al Mansouri just had the edge on the climbs over Sandra Ferron today, and Quap is going to come through for third place. But Carolina Lennonen is absolutely motoring here, the Category 4 leader. She's been racing for 59 minutes 29 seconds, and she's going to come up and pass third place in the Category 6 race. She's going to come round the corner and see the UCI banner. Holly Bergin, 24 seconds back, is in second place in the Category 4 race. She's not going to catch Carolina Lennonen today. Lennonen is going to take the win today in Category 4. Qualifier 1 in March. Lennonen Cat 4. Well, Holly Bergin now waking her way through, but she's got Elena Lopez for company. Lopez currently putting on a big attack here in the Category 5 race. Category 5, they're coming in for the sprint, but it is Lopez in one. Bago, Co, Mongelli. Mongelli opens up, so does Katarina Co. Lopez has gone. Lopez has gone. It's going to be Co and Bago who come through. Katarina Co comes through for the win today. I think in Category 5, it is indeed a sprint for the line in Category 5. And with Bergin coming through for second place in Category 4, Katarina Co takes the win from Katie Bago, from Lopez, from Mongelli in Category 5. Well, it is all go here on the women's race for qualifier 1 on the Sunday Race Club in March. This is the Category 3 group, and we've seen them together. They were together up the Eichenberg climb. They've gone over the top and the run to the finish. They've picked up Camilla Zuluga from Category 5. We've got Holweiler and Kokkonen just ahead of them at the moment, but Gothelander, Briggs and Roach, Thompson is in here as well. It's an interesting group. They're well matched. And this is a steady run in at the moment. There's 1.3 kilometres to go. 5 riders, because Jenny Daniel is in there too. 2 Category 5 riders mixed into the mix as well, because Bettina Pieler is there alongside them. So they're sweeping up other riders, but Gothelander, Thompson, Daniel, Briggs and Roach, the 5 riders you need to watch here in Category 3. Anna Embring is here as well, and it's looking like Sarah London is too. So this is a good-sized group. I think there's 7 riders from Category 3 in this group now, and we're going to see a 7-up sprint for the line. So the women's race at the moment really starting to hot up. Category 2, the leading group, it's still really big with everybody who is anybody in Category 2 in there. They're on the Eichenberg climb at the moment, and they are still side by side. Well, Category 3 are still side by side, or at least 7 of them are, with 500 metres to go. This is going to open up for a 7-up sprint for the line. The line is coming. They're keeping the powder dry at the moment. Who's going to be the first rider to blink? Well, who's it going to be? The push comes in. Sarah Lundin goes at 11 watts per kilo. Is anybody going to respond here? Anna Embring's coming through the pack. Has Sarah Lundin gone too early? Jenny Daniels and Jennifer Gothenlander's now kicking. She's going strong as well, but Sarah Lundin is leading this out, and Lundin's kick, well, she's clear of the group. Sarah Lundin, she timed that to perfection, takes the win in category 3. It was indeed a 7-up sprint. And London takes the win from Embring. Anna Embring comes through in second place. Gotherlander takes third. Thompson takes fourth. And Daniels takes fifth. What a race in category 3. That was some phenomenal sprinting. Back onto the Eichenberg climb with category 2. Their race now 48 minutes, 41 seconds. But we've got a group of riders, Haag, Engstrom, Van Hooling, Kalman, Wagner, Eck, Van Shaw, all coming up and underneath the polka dot banner of the Eichenberg climb together. They have got 6 kilometres to go. So Hermansen, Haag, Van Hooling, Engstrom, Eck, Wagner, Giovanni, Kalman, Van Shaw, Field, Denton and Kolkowitz. 12 riders in the leading group in category 2 with 6 kilometres to go. Category 1, well, they're at the 28.2 kilometre marker. They too are on the Eichenberg climb, but they're on the lower slopes, not the top slopes. We've got Columbi, Fua, Holdcroft, McCarthy, Bruni, Guerra, Kulczynski, all in the group at the moment. So 7 riders as well in the leading group in category 1, all still together. Mika Soderstrom, Tomasi Olberg Meyer been dropped from the group now, but these 7 riders, Kulczynski needs to dig in. She needs to get into the back of that group, and she needs to stay with them, because this is the key moment here. This is the final climb of the race. They have got, come on, you really want to see Kulczynski get back on that group, because the group is going to go, and it's going to be 6 riders taking it into the finish. Well, it's looking like the push is on the front of the pack, because McCarthy is going. She's pushing on here. She's gone clear of the group. She's about 5 seconds clear now. Now, is this a push for the line? Can McCarthy hold this for 6 kilometres with a chasing group behind? Highly unlikely, but never discount a national champion or a world champion to that point. So can Kate McCarthy push on here in those rainbow bands and hold this gap to the finish? We saw Guerra go earlier on one of the earlier climbs. She couldn't hold that. She went and she got 6 seconds on the Kortekeer. The gap went to 13, but the group brought her back. Now McCarthy, she's got 8 seconds going underneath the Eichenberg climb. Catherine Fua is the next rider through. She's leading the pack with Holdcroft, Guerra, Columbi and Bruni. The question is now, what can they do? And can they pull McCarthy back in? She's still sat at 7 watts per kilo, hitting that descent. She's picked up pace, she's picked up momentum, and she is letting herself roll away from the group. It's going to be interesting to see now what this group do. So McCarthy in 1, then a chasing group of 5 riders. Kristen Kulczynski just off the back of the group now. She's 14 seconds back. I don't think she's going to come back into contention. She's going to get a top 10 today, but not a top 5. Well, let's take a look at the Eichenberg climb. Kate McCarthy in category 1 setting the fastest time, 3 minutes and 9 seconds. Lisa Hermansen in category 2, 3 minutes 37. Maria Thompson in category 3, 3 minutes 52. Carolina Lennonen in category 4, 4:12. Elena Lopez, category 5, 4:44. And Angie Solenzano, category 6, setting the fastest time up the Eichenberg climb, 5 minutes 26. So all 6 of our race fields now through all of the climbs, and we've just got category 1 and category 2 to get in over the line today. All of the other race fields are in. 2 race fields left out on the course, and we've got on the left hand side of your screen the leading pack in the category 2 race. They're coming up to the 3 kilometre to go mark. 12 riders in that leading group. And on the right-hand side of your screen, coming up to 4 kilometres to go, Kate McCarthy now trying to time trial away from the rest of the group in category 1. She's doing a sterling job with it as well, because the gap now at 18 seconds. So an 18-second lead now for Kate McCarthy. Columbi, Bruni, Holdcroft in that chasing group behind, but no real momentum and force coming from that group yet. Interesting to see the pace differential at the moment. On the left-hand side of your screen is the Category 2 leading pack, rolling steadily. They're predicting a sprint. They want to save their energy, and they are indeed. Their pace 36 kilometres an hour on the flat. We're in with Anna Svardström and Kate McCarthy on the right-hand side of your screen. Their pace just shy of 40 kilometres an hour. On the flat, 42 for Kate McCarthy. So she's moving as a solo rider a lot faster than the leading group in Category 2. But hold on a moment. All of a sudden, the chase group in Category 1 seem to have lit the touch paper. Holdcroft, Fua, Columbi, Guerra and Bruni. One long line of riders now. Maria Holdcroft at the front, 5.8, 5.9 watts per kilo. Can we play team time trial to bring McCarthy back? Well, they could if they wanted to. They have got the time to do it. But Kate McCarthy now around 20 seconds down the road. It is possible, but only if they work together. So Fua, Holdcroft, Guerra, part and parcel of the lead group. What a beautiful line. It's like a team time trial line. Absolutely stunning. Columbi, Bruni, Holdcroft, Fua and Guerra have now gone past Alexi Snova, the Category 2 rider. The next rider they've got in their sights is Anna Svardström and Rachel Hooker. They've got riders to pick off between themselves and McCarthy. But what is very interesting is, will McCarthy come onto the back of the leading group in Category 2, or will they make the finish line first? The leading group in Category 2, 12 riders. Now the attack is on actually at the front, because they don't want to wait for the finish. And Van Hooling has sprinted off the front of the group at 10 watts per kilo. Category 2, well, they were conserving energy for the sprint finish. Well, the sprint has opened up because Lisa Hermansen is off the front. So is Liz Van Hooling. Hermansen attacked. Van Hooling went too. They are all coming back together. This is going to be cat and mouse all the way to the finish line here in Category 2. Nobody wants a 12-up sprint. Well, maybe one or two of them do, but they're not going to get it because the attacks are going to keep coming thick and fast now in the final 1.3 kilometres of this Sunday Race Club. Colquitt's coming back to the group. Interesting. She hadn't gone with the pace. She's got a steadier return to the leading group. They've settled down, allowing Colquitt's to get back in. Hermansen, interestingly, with Tillyfield on the back of the group. Interesting positioning in that group. You're able to see what others are doing. You're able to have a surprise attack because you are behind, and they may not pick it up, but it is getting twitchy in the Category 2 pack at the moment. Haag on the front. Denton is there. Van Schur is there, as well as Wagner. Van Hooling is in the mixer. The pace now starting to pick up because Elsa Haag is pushing on at the front of the pack. So is Colquitt. Colquitt has just come from the back of the group to the front of the group. She's gone right the way through and gone, well, if you're napping, I'm going. And that's indeed what Colquitt has done. She's put in a push on the front. They're coming up to 600 metres to go. This is a long run. They're not going to expect such a long run. Can Colquitt hold this to the finish? She sat back up a little. It's a push. It's not a sprint yet. Van Schur kicks. She's going early with 400 metres to go. It's not full eyeballs out yet. This is a step sprint from Van Schur. Can she pick it up again and really give it beans? Wagner's coming, so is Engstrom. Van Hooling starts to unleash the power. Liz Van Hooling unleashes the power. Van Schur can't go with her. Van Hooling is kicking. She's going round the corner to see the finish line. Liz Van Hooling has unleashed the sprint today in Category 2 to take the win on the march. Sunday Race Club. So Liz Van Hooling takes the sprint and the win on Category 2 on the Sunday Race Club. Donna Wagner comes through in second place. Joanna Kalman, Lisa Hermansen, Kelsey Jade Van Shaw round out the top 5 in Category 2. And Kate McCarthy, well, she's in with the chase group from Category 2. She's clear of the chase group in Category 1, and she's going to come round the bend very, very shortly to see that UCI finish banner. So Kate McCarthy, the leader in the Category 1 race, on the right-hand side of your screen. The chase group settled for the chase and the sprint, only 500 metres back. But Kate McCarthy, the world champion in the polka dot skin suit today, goes underneath the UCI banner to take the win in the Category 1 race for the qualifier number 1 in March on the Sunday Race Club today. So she went clear of the race field on the Eichenberg climb. She time trialled her way through the final 6 kilometres of the race to take the win today. Kate McCarthy, your world champion and the winner in the Category 1 race. This is the sprint for the line, and Catherine Fua has opened the power burners. Fua goes, so does Guerra. Catherine Fua, 14 watts per kilo. That is some sprint today. Guerra goes onto the wheel, but Fua is going to come underneath the banner for second place today. Guerra in third, Holdcroft in fourth. Bruni, I think, will take 5th place in that Category 1 race. Columbi takes 6th. Superb sprinting. What a launch from Catherine Fua off the front of the pack. 14 watts per kilo from Catherine Fua to take the sprint from the chasing group in Category 1. Fabulous racing, great finish today. So overall standings today, Kate McCarthy, Category 1, takes the win. 53 minutes, 45 seconds, just 30 seconds shy of the course PB. Catherine Fua, 39 seconds back, winning the sprint for second place. Gabby Guerra in third today, Maria Holdcroft in fourth, and Merle Brune in 5th place. Celine Columbi comes through in 6th, Kristen Kolczynski for 7th. Let me just remind you that these are live results and will indeed be updating as we speak. Mika Soderstrom in 8th, Camilla Alberg in 9th, and Nicole Meyer rounds out the top 10 in Category 1 today. So it has been absolutely fabulous to put words to the action for Qualifier 1 in March on the Sunday Race Club. I am very shortly going to go and join Matt Payne over in the men's race. It has been absolutely fabulous being with you for the culmination of the women's race today. You can join me at biking_Emma on Instagram. If you're a rider, new or old, do get in touch with me. Let me know what you're up to. We love to get that inside gossip and to put the names and people to the avatars on the show. If you are currently watching the women's race, now is the time to head over and watch the men's. We'll see you again soon. I'll see you in a short while on the men's race. Stay safe. Enjoy your riding. Until then, goodbye.